Okay, so I filled this thing in. This is our original grid with red all the way to violet, and the best I could with what I had in between, and have all my clipping masks. So we're ready to move on to the next one. This is going to be the Hue Grid, where we color correct these slices to make the transitions, well, a little bit neater, cleaner, more distinctive. So let's see, I'm going to remember to name your file. So I'm calling this Color Grid Original. So I'm going to save as, I'm going to call this one Setup. We'll call this one Color Grid Hue. Save. Okay. Okay, so let's say I wanted to change this square here. It's looking a little blue. I want it to be a little bit more yellowy green like these other ones. How would I do it? So first I want to find that one. That is C3. And I'm going to create a color correction. So these are all different adjustments we can make to the image to adjust the color and a lot of other stuff. So I'm going to go Hue Saturation, and I can dial the hues around to shift the whole spectrum around, and you can see what's happening here. So here's the spectrum as it was originally, and then this is the result of what my color correction's doing. So I want to make it a little bit more yellowy green. Yeah. Now the problem is it's affecting everything below it, right? This is getting cropped, but the hue saturation isn't. So what do we do? Well, we can try to get it to stay a clipping mask. So to do that, I put it in between, and then Photoshop determined like, oh yeah, you want to do a clipping mask? No problem. And then I moved it back up again. And that's one way to do it. And now what's nice is as we change this, we're just changing that one layer, and we can turn it on and off to see the result of our work. You can also like boost it a little to match the others, and maybe we'll make it there. Something like that. So that's one possibility. Another possibility is to make a folder. So to do that, I grab all these layers, including the little sandwich, and I hit Control G. And that's a folder. And what that'll do is it'll allow me to control how this color correction works. So by default, the folder just groups things, and whatever you do passes through to the other layer. But if you want it to just be isolated to that one layer, you change it to normal. Okay. So let's see. Pass through. See, it's grabbing everybody, whereas normal is just that one. And now we don't have to do a clipping mask. Once again, we want to make sure that we're naming everything. So I'm going to call this C3. Okay, so another thing we could do that's a bit more aggressive is we can use the adjustment layer, hue saturation, but do it in a more aggressive way. So I'm grouping my layer. This one is a 3. I'm going to make a hue saturation. Boom. But I'm going to set this to normal. Okay, so instead of dialing the hue around like we've been doing before, we're going to try a different thing, and that is called Colorize. So what Colorize does is it basically tints all the pixels underneath a certain to a certain hue and saturation. So for my goldfish, it basically got rid of the darker part of the frame and filled it all in with orange. So that's what it does. The thing that's a little lame about it is it's like very, very digital. So like all the subtle shifts in color kind of get obliterated. So I mean, it's a way to have like a very straightforward kind of color grid where we can really see the shift in colors. And it gives us a lot of control of exactly the hue we get, right? So I can get it like whatever I want. I can make it 36. And I can match that to hue 36, and it'll all be identical. That's Colorize. Another one that might be a good candidate for that is maybe this one with the seagrass. Now, every layer, we're just doing it 100%, but you can always set it back a little too. If the effect is a little too harsh, you can also just click your number key on your keypad to dial to season to taste. All right. All right. So we could keep going, but the idea is to have as even a shift in hue across the frames as possible. And as you go, you're going to kind of see more and more. Like this frame right here is jumping out at me, so I want to correct that, and then I might subtly adjust like everything. And I'm going to save as. Okay.